Alright, what's up? Got my Superman shirt today. Superman statue over here. And yeah, two of the things that are my favorite is Christmas and Superman. Now, um, me and a friend of mine we were talking that about James Gunn's Superman the other day, and how not that like I predicted it, but I did. Like I would call that out. I called out every single thing. Like if they were going with the new 52 caller, I guarantee you they were gonna pull some bullcrap storyline. And then he said that he was using the All Star Comics to get the stories from or the background for the characters in his Superman movie, right? And then we got the movie, and it's just James Gunn Superman. That that's why we call it James Gunn Superman. To the normies out there, it's not James Gunn Superman because he created it. It's literally because he created and adapted like a bunch of story lines that he likes. No, he literally claimed that he was going to take from one comic and didn't do any of that, and then freaking did his own weird thing, which is like, all right, what the hell? So this is James Gunn Superman. Anyways, I also wanted to talk about like what we could have been doing right now instead of I was thinking about like how people are feeling right now in this Christmas season during this holiday, and it's kind of hard not to get in your own head and within your own experience of comparing what other people are experiencing, right? So like for instance, what my kids are experiencing right now is the magic of Christmas, and I gotta maintain that. You know what I mean? But what I'm experiencing is like, dude, like I'm having like a disconnect, and it's not because I'm negative um or like there's some sort of issue at home or anything. It's just well, there's always issues at home, you know, whether they're big or small. Right now, like main issue is just making more money because there's, as everybody knows, it's hard. Real life is hard, especially when people are screwing you over. And yeah, the I was trying to figure out like why am I feeling this way? Why am I like not really in the Christmas spirit? And we watched a movie the other day, Miracle on 34th Street, and it just reminded me of what Christmas is about, why we celebrate it, and how we can make it special, right? And Superman, and the reason I talk a lot about Superman and I'm comparing Superman and Santa Claus is because Superman is that character that like things. He's a hopeful character. Doesn't matter what's going on, what's about to happen. He's going to find a way to make things happen, um, like to come out victorious, right? Without compromising his integrity, without killing anybody, without crossing the line that he shouldn't cross. So the the one thing I wanted to also shift as well was I was thinking about like Henry Cavill as Superman. We're seeing a lot of Zack Snyder, and then Netflix possibly buying Warner Brothers or the DC Comics, and how that kind of would kill the Snyderverse. And I have to look it up more. So I'm not even sure why it would kill it exactly, but as far as I can tell, is that they just wouldn't want the Snyderverse, which makes sense. I don't want the Snyderverse either. I don't want the Gunverse. I think both of them are trash. Because you got to remember, James Gunn also did the Suicide Squad, so Suicide Squad #2. Great characterization. It made you feel emotional, but terrible storytelling. And then did Peacemaker. Terrible show. Um, and you could make a case for the first season. The first 3 episodes are dog water, dude. Freaking terrible. But the rest of the season, you can make a case for it. Second season, awful, just atrocious. Give me a sec. Still under the weather. But you you kind of get certain issues with like the hope, like in Snyderverse, they points out something that's very Superman, like the symbol means the symbol for hope in his world, but he's not a hopeful Superman at all. In the Snyderverse, there's like Batman kills, Wonder Woman kills, Superman kills. Like there's no morals in the DC universe, as in Zack Snyder's DC universe, right? And that's a pretty big freaking issue. And then you get then it's not just the writing in Zack Snyder's universe, because it could have, like, as far as I can tell, for me, it's just an injustice timeline. Like, there's no reason now for Zack Snyder's Clark to not kill people, because he's already crossed that line. Batman's already crossed that line, so who gives a damn at this point? Like, why would we want to watch? They're not heroes. They're bona fide vigilantes. And worse, they are all criminals, taking the law to their own hands, and at the same time breaking the law and not getting any pushback from governments. Like, yeah, there was pushback, but like the U.S. government was like, you might have like killed a threat, but we also need to know, like, that guy was a general. He had training. He had your powers. It was kind of lucky that you got there, but you still killed somebody. We need to know, like, where your level's at. Like, where's your training? Are you stable? Are you all this stuff? That the U.S. government would be questioning. And anybody that follows comics, the biggest villain in comics is the U.S. government. Just watch the X-Men. Watch, Amanda Waller in anything but the Suicide Squad. Justice League Unlimited would be Justice League Unlimited would be a great one. But yeah, so James Gunn's Superman, the big issue with him is just he's a freaking child. He's selfish. He doesn't care about nobody. So he might not be killing nobody, but it's also a stupid movie. It's just idiotic, and he's not doing anything that that like makes you want to be on his side. Now, caveat to that is more, yeah, there's more smiling, it's more colorful, but at the same time, like right now in this Christmas season, I haven't been watching anything. I have been, but I haven't watched anything new that kind of would hype me up for the Christmas season. Something hopeful and beautiful and whatnot. And I know that it's usually a juxtaposition because we have Halloween, October, and a lot of monster mash, sometimes gore, horror movies, and then we get to Thanksgiving, and now we're here in December, Christmas time. But the issue still remains, like, usually in November we get like really, really good video games back in the day, Gears of War, Halo 3, your games, okay? It was like, it was almost as if if you were my age, a younger dude, it was almost as if like no video games could be bad. Like, why would somebody develop a bad video game? Like, it was just so easy to, like, in your mind it was like, yeah, if it had this title, of course it's gonna be good. Like, with the freak, like, there's no way to screw this up. You just progress it, and as an adult, that magic is gone. You're like, nah, you can take Spider-Man and make him freaking retarded. You can make him a twink. You can freaking ruin the X-Men. You can do a lot of stuff. And things that I thought was like impossible to ruin, like Star Wars, and they found a way to do it. But anyways, so I've been recently watching Smallville, and it's got me thinking about the animated series, because I can't show my kids Smallville. Smallville is definitely like PG-14, PG-15, around there. Sometimes the sensual scenes go a little too long, and it's like, this was on television, man. That's crazy. The violence, like, it's and it's not that violent, but it's just like I could see it why I didn't watch it. Why my parents skipped certain episodes when we were kids. Okay. But when my kids, like, it's cold outside, or can't go outside because I'm sick or somebody's sick, like right now my son's hella sick. And by the way, if I jump out of the stream all of a sudden, it's because my son needs me, so, duty calls. But I'll keep it paused and then I'll try to come back and handle that. But my son, when he comes down, I'll put on the animated series. And we haven't got to the episode yet, but in Justice League, in I think it's the first season, where Clark invites Martian Manhunter to his home in Smallville and to spend Christmas. And they say things like, oh yeah, like we need to wrap his Christmas presents in lead so that he wouldn't peek through them. And funny things like that, where if you take the lore off comics and then the lore off animated series, and you're gonna get a mixed bag, right? And we'll be talking about like which comic makes it like the staple comic, and but it's pretty simple. You're gonna get different lore, and so in the animated series, it's pretty much he got his powers when he was a teenager, but then in the Justice League, they kind of retcon that by saying ever since he was a kid. Now, yeah, maybe they didn't really explicitly say he got X-ray vision, but in the animated series, I forgot. I think it's the first episode. He just realized he just didn't get burnt, or his strength is developing and things like that. But yeah, so you get a different type of lore, but on Christmas, like, one thing that they usually remain true is that kind of Clark believes in Santa Claus. And I think DC Comics did make Santa like a canon, like, hero. Like, he's involved in the magical world. And Clark is like, yeah, Santa Claus definitely exists. And after Martha says, like, we had to wrap his, or I think it was Jonathan, we have to wrap his Christmas presents in lead. He's like, you mean Santa had to wrap them? He's like, yeah, that's what I meant. And then Martian Manhunter looks at him like, is this fool retarded? But either way, I love it. I love the cheesiness. I love how awesome anything involving Superman is. Almost anything. Gosh, James Gunn Superman is just a massive disappointment. But one second. Smallville. Been watching Smallville. I'm on season 3. I do have some massive issues with it, but overall, I kind of jot it all down to Clark sometimes just being naive and mature. He's a kid. He's a teenager. He's still figuring out his powers. So, sometimes of how he treated Lex, like, definitely unfair to Lex. But then you see, like, Lex's reaction when there's a moment of hesitation. He gets pissed, and that could be dealt with the drugs and whatnot. Season 3 is where we kind of, at least in the beginning of Season 3, end of Season 2, we get a lot more lore of Jor-El. And you guys will see later on of how the progression of understanding Jor-El and what type of person he was. Because right now, like, they see him as a villain. Like, oh, you're going to conquer and rule this world and whatnot. And yeah, in comics, there was that kind of confusion. But it always ended up, whenever a comic book, even like the bad ones, whenever ended up like his Kryptonian parents sent him to Earth and told him, like, you gotta freaking conquer these primitive people. It always had a way to fix itself. Like, no, that's not exactly what we meant. This is what we mean. and then it's like, okay, yeah, you guys are good people. And then James Gunn Superman is like very explicit, like even told him to take on many wives and build a harem, dude. And they say harem like 3 or 4 times in the movie, or like 5 times, maybe more. It's quite a lot. It felt like somebody who was more of a Dragon Ball Z fan and more of an anime fan wanted to write Superman, and that's what they did. Um, but yeah, so anyways, Christmas episode is great in the animated series. That episode, Hawk Girl takes Jon Stewart and shows how she celebrates Christmas. And yeah, the animated series is probably the best thing DC has ever done. The Justice League animated series and the Justice League Unlimited, Batman and Superman animated series. Um, there's obviously obvious things to criticize, and this woke stuff, it also wasn't new. Like I said in a previous live stream, where like woke is just dormant right now. It's not hasn't gone away yet. It's like a sleeping giant. In the animated series, they don't explicitly say it, but they imply it lightly that there's a lesbian character, and it means nothing to no one. Like if you're gonna do it, go all out. But they shouldn't put it in a cartoon. Like if you're gonna put it in a PG-13 movie, okay. In a superhero movie, also disagree with doing that. But the Superman animated series had that implication. Me with my adult eyes, I was like, "Who the freak is she? What's going on?" And it just like plays it off like a sister, because that's what my kids ask. Like, is that her sister? And I'm like, yeah, that's her sister. And like that's like she's helping her out. Like, oh, okay, that's good. Whatever, blah blah blah. And it was just simple brush off, but it's also one of those things that, because my kids, it's not that it was so in your face, but my kids do ask a lot of questions, and those are my kids. They ask like, well, like every scene is like, okay, who's that? Why is this doing this? Why do you do that? And they ask deep questions sometimes, like why, like he's a bad guy. I'm like, yeah, why is he a bad guy? Because of this and this is why. But why would people choose to do that if they could just be good? And then I'm like, fool, you're 4. Like, let's relax, because I can't explain all this to you, man. Yeah, like, well, you got some growing up to do, but just know some people fall away and then they don't understand good no more, and they are bad and they're gonna do bad things. It's like, can they become good again? And I'm like, billion different variables, man, to get them back to good. Sorry, I'm drinking so much water. I'm still hella under the weather. I even filmed a video. I'm like, slightly rough video, but I'm gonna put it out there anyways. It definitely sounds like I'm sick a little bit and slightly incoherent. So you see me jumping around topics. My bad. Maybe I'll just do it for an hour today. I don't know. But one of the reasons I've been watching Smallville isn't that it's like the best thing in the world. It's wholesome. You got the best. Like, yeah, there's issues. The love story with Lana Lang lasts way too long. I think after like 2 seasons is fine, and then just that lingering, yeah. And then, they don't explain very well like you would think more people in the world would be interested in these meteor rocks, the kryptonite, right? And then there's so much death happening in Smallville that I think the FBI would get involved eventually, and a lot of it happens with teenagers. So it's like the body count of one high school is enormous. So that's a problem, right? Like there's a lot of things that they don't really answer, but we do get still a decent story, holes in the story, but still beginning, middle, and end. Get very episodic episodes. And one thing they did very, very well, they cast the right people. Pete Ross, yeah, he was a race swap, but he was never like a big character. And those are other thoughts that I have about race swapping and when it works and when it shouldn't work, when it's not supposed to work, when it does work, and why we allow, like, the fans allow it, because there's certain gatekeeping that we do need to maintain. Okay, Jonathan Kent, best Jonathan Kent in all the history of Superman, cinema, TV shows, cartoons, all of it. He's the best Jonathan Kent for sure. Martha, you could say she has most screen time than any other Martha Kent in any other property. So, Martha Kent, you could claim best one. Pete Ross, he's great, and I'm going only to the point where I've gotten to, season 3. And obviously, I've watched it before multiple times. But I'm only going to talk about things that are fresh in my mind because I don't want to say anything that obviously is false or I don't remember correctly. Lex, best Lex Luthor, hands down. I love what's his name from Christopher Reeve Superman. He's funny, he has a whimsical talent about him, but it's not my favorite Superman. I think the closest Lex Luthor is the one that we get in Smallville. If he beefed up a little bit more, got like freaking yoked, then he'd be like the definitive Lex Luthor. You know what I mean? And he looks, and also they look great for their part. Tom Welling looks more like Superman and portrays Superman across the board better than anybody. Christopher Reeve is still Superman number 1. Okay, putting that out there. Nobody get pissed at that. He's still number 1. But is that the best Clark? I like the juxtaposition. I'm not a fan of the bumbling idiot Clark. I like when Clark is himself as Clark, careful being Superman, but he's Clark, and that's it. Like the animated series did that really well. We don't really get to see the difference of Clark and Superman Smallville all until like season 7 or 8. But you see his development. He's a great Clark Kent, and if he got ripped, like yoked like Henry Cavill, he probably would have been a definitive Superman. Like there's nobody that could top that one, especially in TV shows for sure. Like he looks perfect for the role of Superman. It is by like a mile. Like I would say he looks even better than Henry Cavill and everybody that came before him. He can play the part better than anybody. Like I still think they should do a Metropolis TV show. Him and Henry Cavill are practically the same age. I think he's like 2 years older than Henry Cavill. It's not by much, So I still think he could play the role of Superman. And, we have de-aging technology. All he has to do is get buff. And then we're good. Best Lois Lane is in this show. I know she hasn't appeared yet, but her name was dropped, so I'll talk about her. One of the best characters ever was created from this show, which is Lionel Luthor. Phenomenal. Nowhere in the comics, and then they throw this character in there. They create this new character. Dude, works perfectly. It's awesome. I did think it was a decent idea. I wouldn't say a great idea, introducing like the mutant meteor dudes. I get to like make the show more interesting, but I still think it should have been less death, but more like development of understanding what kryptonite is and how it's affecting people, the science of it all. Like I would like those kind of details where it's like, it's actually poisoning them, There's kryptonite poisoning these meteor rocks, and then like maybe Lex and Lionel are trying to find a way to synthesize it so it doesn't poison anymore. But it's everybody who is affected by meteor rocks will eventually die because of its effect. We got that with Ryan. He developed a tumor. But yeah, and yeah, there's obviously bad things, but there's way more good. It's better than, it's not even, you don't even have to compare it to other TV shows. It's phenomenal, and it's the last TV show you're ever gonna get, last Superman property where you actually have Christopher Reeve come in. Christopher Reeve came in for I think 2 episodes, one right before his death, and one a few years before. And he like it's so beautiful. They play his theme when he says certain things. Like there was a discussion not too long ago with the new Jurassic World movie, and I think there was talk about with the James Gunn Superman where they played original themes like the Jurassic Park themes out of freaking nowhere. Like themes need to be placed in specific points to hit specific emotions in a specific situation, right? And they just threw like the Jurassic Park. They threw the original theme just when they're having like a discussion about freaking nothing. When before it was a really intense, heroic scene, and that's what that score was for. But then they just kind of threw it away like it was freaking. It was just stupid. But where they did it really well is actually in season 2 of Smallville, where he meets Professor Swan, and when he asks specific questions and makes specific claims like you are like Earth's hope or something like that, then the original theme comes on very lightly too, not even like big. And then sometimes like the theme is distorted when he gets the red kryptonite, or he's or like there's something wrong happening. They'll play the original theme but with a distortion of like a almost like a bad guy theme to it. And it's really, really cool. They did it very, very well. More freaking water, damn. Yeah. I'm gonna put it right there. Damn. No, I haven't played Fallout yet. So anybody who's asking on the kick side, I haven't played Fallout yet, but I will. You guys will be the first ones to know. Today I just want to talk about Christmas and Superman. Like what was it, yesterday or 2 days ago, whatever it was, I talked about Star Wars and Christmas. The reason why I want to talk Superman and Christmas isn't that I got a Superman thing every Christmas, but me and my dad, we watched Superman quite a bit. He bought me a Superman toy. No, I think I got it for Christmas. And it was slightly weird because back in the day, it was cool, but toy manufacturers didn't really understand that kids can be creative with just a plain action figure. It's like they understood it for a time and then they forgot, and they try to make it all this innovative. Like I got an animated series Superman, and that had this giant blast gun that shot off like these I think they were glow in the dark like Superman symbol discs, and his suit was darker, but you could press the back of the cape and his symbol lit up, and it was just like to me it was cool. I was a kid, like the more the merrier. But I think I would have been just as happy with just a regular animated series Superman. It wouldn't have been a big deal. And I really want to get my son a Superman toy for Christmas or for his birthday, because we've been talking about Superman. He's been begging me to watch the Christopher Reeve Superman, and we watched, unfortunately, the theatrical cut of the Donner of Superman 2. I need to get the Donner cut because it's just on streaming services, and the Donner cut for some reason is not available anywhere unless you freaking rent it, because it's freaking phenomenal. So we watched the first Superman movie, and yeah, he does kill Zod as well. It's an issue. Like I have no problems pointing out flaws of original movies that like are iconic for a generation. For like Christopher Reeve, still best Superman, but we haven't gotten a perfect Superman story with a perfect Superman. Christopher Reeve was the perfect Superman. He also could have beefed up better, like talk to Arnold Schwarzenegger and get him some of that muscle, talk to Sylvester Stallone. But yeah, and I will be doing a video off the documentary that came out in HBO Max about Superman, about Christopher Reeve, and I think it's a phenomenal documentary. You guys should watch it because it's really just about a flawed man who he couldn't give up his. He tried to break the cycle, but he repeated the cycle of, a dysfunctional family, of not really being there for his kids, and then he was there, but he wasn't present, like emotionally, and it was a very inspiring documentary, you know, and I gotta show my wife actually, but yeah, so one cool thing in James Gunn Superman is the reporter that is Christopher Reeve's son, and he looks the closest like Christopher Reeve slash Superman as possible, and he almost looks animated. He looks like the animated series Superman, and he's not an actor, and he claims that he doesn't want to ever play Superman, and I think it's just because like it's just he likes knowing that his dad is Superman. I think his dad was Superman, and that's good enough for him. And I think he was born after he played all four movies. But yeah, so in all the Christmases I had growing up, there was most of them were. I think can only remember maybe one bad Christmas, and I told it to you guys last stream. But I remember when the Superman Returns movie came out. Any of you young guys, in terms of video games, you guys don't know this, but back in the day, every movie that launched came with a video game. They would immediately launch a video game like right after. Like, dude, there's a Shrek video game. There's a Burger King video game. Like, dude. So, Superman Returns comes out with Brandon Routh. Obviously not a good movie. He's barely a character in his own movie. Barely has any lines. I think it's the Superman with the least amount of lines in any movie, in any property. I have to sneeze. All right. Obviously, I'm sick. I'm not Superman. Or am I? But I still have good memories. I think there's great scenes in that. There's nice little gems in that. What's the Kevin Spacey plays a great Lex. We all know his issues, but you can't say he's a bad actor. He does a great job. He's solid, man. As an actor, peak. So there was an Xbox, I think it was a 360, Xbox 360 video game, Superman Returns video game. It was awesome, phenomenal. It was a whole lot of fun. Maybe I can get it, and then we could play it on stream. That'd be sick. Cause man, it is a great game. It is so much fun. It might even be a bad game, but it's a lot of fun. From what I can remember, I had a ton of fun with it. And we would play it during Christmas time. We would play it, throughout the year. No, shoot. Hold on. We would play through it. We would play throughout the year. But mainly during Christmas time, it was. Sorry about that. You guys might be hearing the dings. It's just text messages from me wife. Kid's okay though. The kid is fine. Yeah, when your kid's sick, it's freaking heartbreaking, dude. But, anyways, me and my brother would play it, and it would be that thing. We would switch the controllers because it's one player. Like, you can't play two players, unfortunately. There was also, I think it was Soul Calibur, where you could play Star Wars characters and DC characters. And it was a fighting game, and it was a lot of fun. Played the Injustice video games. But I think that was the only really Superman video game that existed. And, dude, it's great. I highly recommend anybody play it. If you're a fan of Superman, you'll be a fan of the game, even if it's a crappy game. I guarantee you. Maybe it's because it's the only one, but you'll be a fan. I trust. And, but yeah, man. Man, I had some good memories playing that freaking game. I remember we tried to, because you could break the sound barrier if you just keep flying without like interruption, and it just the sonic booms. It was freaking awesome. Um, but anyways, the oh shoot, what? Hold on, let me see what was on the agenda for me. I don't want to talk about specifically of Superman. Oh yeah, the animated series. I started watching the animated series like when my we had an aunt and uncle. They were kind of like the crazy aunt and uncle, you know. But the uncle, he was a huge nerd, Star Trek, DC, some anime stuff. He was a weird guy, like kind of messed up in the head, but overall had cool, awesome stuff, And it was no longer in the family, but he had some awesome stuff, and he had the in DVD all the Batman's and Superman animated series, Justice League. We played Justice League, and we'd go there for many Christmas dinners and Thanksgiving dinners, and that's where I like really started watching the Justice League animated series because we didn't have Cartoon Network. We had an antenna where we put it on top of the TV and try to make that thing work. Everybody else had a satellite dish or direct TV or whatever it was. Now I think the company still exists, but I think it's crazy if they are able to, like, they're still functioning. Because streaming service and the internet, like, just Wi-Fi in itself and streaming services with smart TVs, it killed that industry. But yeah, and I remember that I always wanted to cosplay as Superman. Gotta get much, much bigger. Gotta get freaking massive. Gotta take some steroids probably. But yeah, and to me, there was always a definitive Superman in my mind from reading the comics. And actually, it's why I got this statue. And I'll show you guys the statue. To me, this is what Superman should always look like. Okay, let's see if I could get this to focus. Here, let me. Look at that. Superman symbol right there. It's a perfect symbol. Flying through the clouds, man. And then the back has that yellow S. Look at that. My man. Dude, that's what's up. Yeah, when I saw... Get that back and focus on me. When I saw this statue... I got it at Coliseum of Comics. It's a franchise comic shop, but there's no, like... Where I live, there's no real good comic shop, like a mom and pop comic shop, right? When I saw that, I had to get it, man. I wasn't even looking for Superman statue or anything related to Superman when I walked in that comic shop. I actually was looking for Daredevil comics, like originals, but they didn't have any. They only had omnibuses, and unfortunately, I ended up not getting them. But it's so hard to find a Superman toy nowadays because they only got the James Gunn bullcrap. And man, like it reminded me of how good we used to have it. We had like every single type of Superman at the toy store or Toys R Us or Target, Walmart. There'll be like 4 different types of Superman. This is from the animated series, this is from the movie that's coming up, this is from like the original, this is like the new, like based off these new comics that are released, and we had toys that had a comic book in it so that when you bought the toy you also got a comic. It was awesome. I'm not gonna say Superman has just as big of an impact as Santa Claus, but it's getting there, and I believe we need to bring back that magic We need to bring back what Christmas is all about. Have a focus on Santa Claus because there is a point to him. Watch Miracle on 34th Street. Watch my video actually on YouTube and see why it's not the best made video. It's like me literally just talking about it for like 4 minutes. You know, again, I'm sick, so it's not like I went through it and tried my best. Or actually, it's not even on yet. It will be on tomorrow. So yeah, don't worry about that. I'm just having it like checked or whatever how YouTube goes through it. But like my dad, he watched Superman when he was young, when he was a kid. And I remember when we went to go watch Man of Steel, and he sees Henry Cavill, and he's like, "Why doesn't he have the trunks? And where's the little S in the hair? Like that's not Superman." Just off those two details, he's just like why are they don't want to wear the underwear, man? Like this is crazy. It's already ridiculous that he's a superhero. Like you think Trunks is like, oh, that's gonna suspend my disbelief off a dude who freaking flying through the sky with lasers coming out of his eyes. He could blow air to make it hot or cold. He could freaking spin like through the earth. He could run faster than the speed of sound. He has supersonic hearing. He has X-ray vision. And in my dad's mind, like he could fly around the world and distort time and space. Like, you think the Trunks are gonna suspend the believability of this freaking thing? Like, no, put on the damn underwear, man. Like, like, oh man. Let me see if I could bring this. Actually, I didn't put it up. So like there was a bunch of people that did edits with Henry Cavill and did the little S and the trunks, and I was like, hell yeah, that's how he should look. And they did it with even Ben Affleck's Batman. Like they just put trunks, and that's the only modification, and it just looked way better. Like Ben Affleck's Batman, exact same, just with the trunks, and it's like, man, that is solid. His bat suit, as much as I don't like it, objectively is the most comic accurate bat suit there is. Unfortunately. Now the best bat suit, definitively, I don't care what you say, it's from the comics, and it's the blue and gray. The blue cowl, the gray suit with the oval-like Batman symbol like that. That's yellow and black. That's the best Batman. By far, with long ears, not short ears. Never liked the short ears. I thought the Batman Begins Christian Bale had a nice medium to it. Like the ears wasn't too tall, wasn't too short. I was like, all right, that's Batman. And then Ben Affleck's Batman, it's pretty much just a boxer. He's pretty much just Wildcat as Batman. But yeah, so yeah, I went to the movies with my dad. And even that, like, they are total normies. And at the time, in terms of movies, they just wanted to be entertained. I remember my mom liking Man of Steel until the very end. She's like, man, this movie's great. We get to the end, and we leave the theater, and she just says, like, I didn't really like that movie. And I'm like, really? You tell me you liked it. What happened? It's just there was so much destruction. Like, he kills the guy and then just, like, doesn't care about nobody, just lets people die in the freaking city. Like, that's kind of stupid. And I was a kid at the time. I'm like, I think you're thinking about it way too much. But then, it's a valid argument. This guy's a douche. Zack Snyder can't write DC. He can't write the gods among men. That's when you write, like, a difference with Marvel is that a lot of the characters do kill. But if you think about Marvel's most popular character, he doesn't kill. Peter Parker. I'm not saying that's the only factor or even a big factor, but it's something that's like, all right. And I think that's something that does bother me about the Smallville TV shows. Like, as soon as people get their powers, they're just already, like, willing to kill people. I'm like, dude, I've never felt that way with Like, I don't care how strong I got. I never even thought like I just have the urge to kill somebody. Like, I could do it, get away with it, and it'll be fine. Like, dude, that would mess me up completely. Like, there's a lot more good people in the world, so like it really bothers me when people are like they write characters are written, especially in the James Gunn movie, where all these people are okay to kill Superman, but with no motive, working with Lex, and like in Smallville, that's a major factor that really pisses me off. Like, I get it, being power hungry and trying to like take control of your life and do your own thing, and maybe doing it in the wrong way where Clark has to stop you, but you're willing to kill people like off the bat. You've never killed nobody. You have power. Like, if anything, if somebody humiliated you, you'd want to humiliate them more and at a higher level, but you wouldn't want to kill them unless they were like sexually abusing you, I guess. But even then, it's like to get to that jump, it's pretty big, you know. Like, they have to have a pretty freaking deep backstory of some sort of abuse. But yeah, we, anyways. So, Superman and Christmas, both, both, I guess properties I'm talking about, Superman and Christmas, they're both hopeful. Christmas reminds you of a hopeful time, but it also reminds you of a time to reflect. So, like, your New Year's resolution starts today. It doesn't start, January 1st. As soon as you identify that you've had some shortcomings this year, you've maybe are not the person you wish you would be by the end of this year, or you just made like a lot of mistakes, or a lot of crap has happened. It's not time to just brush it off. Like, it is a time to reflect, but with hope, with progression. Like, Superman doesn't always win, but he still looks for the brighter future. He still looks to do the right thing. And that's the beautiful thing about Superman. And it's the beautiful thing about Christmas, where we don't have to, only think about the bad. We should implement it, understand it, so that we can come back together and, be united as a family, as friends. And it's a reminder that we don't need to wait one day of the year, Christmas or Thanksgiving, whatever it is, or the few holidays that we have. And that's the only time we get together with people we love. We should make time for each other, because to me, Christmas is a reminder that like time goes by way quicker than you thought. And every year it gets worse and worse and worse. Like, when you have kids, everybody who listens in, if you have kids, you know this. It kind of sucks watching them grow up. You kind of don't ever want to watch them grow up, because they get bigger. It's nice, but it's just like, man, I just wish we could have stayed longer. I could have stayed, especially for guys. We're out working, and sometimes we don't get to see the kids for like a few days, because we go out, we come back, they're asleep. We gotta sleep. We gotta leave before they wake up. And it's, like, it happens. Like, there was a time where I didn't see my kids for like the longest was like, in terms of work, was like a week or two. And then when we went to Korea, my wife and the kids went first, but I had to stay at work, and they were gone for a month, and it killed me. Like, when I got there, their vocabulary, like, they were little, right? They were, 2 and 4, yeah, 2 and 4, and they're speaking like so well in Korean. Like, they're speaking super well, and their Portuguese is super awesome, even though they're in Korean. But they're like, yeah, like, it was daunting. It was weird, and I hated it, and I loved it. But yeah, Superman, like, like, just pulling a Superman comic, just sitting there reading, just him, the simple story of him saving a little girl cat from a tree, stopping robbers, like, from robbing a bank or stealing a car. And he's, it's not even the big stories. It's just like that was like Clark being Clark, you know, or helping somebody save face, like, you know, that's just it is just great comics, man. And yeah, like Christmas time mixed with Superman, I think is the perfect recipe. If they do like a Christmas special with Superman, like they'll do like, I'm a huge fan of specials if it's done right. Like I didn't even watch Doctor Who, but my friends would send me Doctor Who specials, and I would watch them. Like that's pretty cool, and they would explain to me the lore and those things I didn't get because I'm not a fan. I'm not watching it, you know. But I would watch a special, and I'm like, you know, that was like pretty heartfelt and whatnot. Until they sent me one that was like just complete garbage. It was like I don't know, whatever. It was trash. It was like a recent one, in the past like 6 years or something. But and they did because they wanted to f around with me. But we like if they took, let's say James Gunn movie was actually good. Let's say we did get a James Gunn Superman movie that was good, that everybody across the board enjoyed. Awesome, hopeful Superman's back, solid. It would have been perfect for him to release a special right now that was maybe 30 minutes long of just Superman doing something fantastical, like just taking care of his family, being on the farm, you know, sharing like a gift to like somebody who's less fortunate, something like that. It would be amazing. Like the same episode with of the animated series, we see Flash with the white ape, the smart one. I forgot his name, but he's trying to get this toy for these orphan kids, and it's like impossible to get. It's like a duck toy, and he actually makes it more educational because they bust it up. But and then he gets the bad guy a Christmas tree. It's just a nice, wholesome thing, and it was just lovely, man. It was very lovely. It was nice, sublime. And man, like I freaking love Superman. I love the DC. It's freaking the best. It's light years beyond Marvel. I love Marvel. Big fan of Daredevil. Probably my favorite hero in all of Marvel. Big fan of the World, Blade, Ghost Rider. I like more of the obscure guys. Um, than your like mainstream. Like I do like the Hulk. I do like Thor. I do like Spider Man, obviously. But yeah, like if you read comics, anybody who's read Marvel comics, they know that the Defenders were always bigger than the Avengers. They were always better team. And I've never liked the fact that the Avengers, like, you just pull everybody together and like they're just now the Avengers. It's I know Justice League. There's Justice League Unlimited where they pull all the heroes. Two different worlds, right? Like Batman doesn't have a team; he has a crew. Big difference. And in Marvel, they establish very, very specific teams. You got the Defenders, you got the X-Men, you got the Avengers, you got oh, your Heroes for Hire, which I guess is a team up. You got the Fantastic Four. You got there's a bunch of other ones, but I'm blanking right now. I'm sick. I'm dying here, guys. Like, yeah. British Superman or American? Your voice is no. Okay. Are you talking about Henry Cavill? Uh, what's your name? Sutairn? My bad if that's wrong. Are you talking about Henry Cavill because he's British? So what do you mean by should it be British or American? Yes, Superman is American. He is no Reeves is number one. Yeah, broken back. Okay, Reeves is number one. We've established that. Something I said was that the movies they have their criticisms, right? No, not British. One thing I pointed out, I think Tom Welling If he donned the suit, he got buff. He encapsulates Superman better than, not better than Reeves, but better than almost all the other actors. Now, one thing I'm not a fan of, but I do appreciate, is Christopher Reeve's Clark Kent, and he is, like, I don't like the bumbly Clark Kent. I like the confident animated series type Clark Kent. Modern American Superman is amazing. Like, what do you mean? We expect the foam homework stuff. British. Yeah. Yeah. I gotcha. Totally respect it, but yeah. I spell bad, dude. You're chilling, man. Like, I'm totally under the weather, so like, if you watch the whole stream, I'm like back and forth, man. Like, I'm pulling from piece here, then talking about this, and I'm yeah. Like, no, you're good. Like, I'm dealing with the chat on YouTube as well, and for some reason it erased the chat. So shout out to Derp though. But I was saying how, like, how Christmas and Superman really come together. I think what would have been, even with the crappy James Gunn Superman, and I don't know if you like the James Gunn Superman, they should have done some sort of Christmas special with Superman, him delivering a gift to a kid, saving a kid during the winter holidays, and putting on a Santa Claus hat. Like, I just think that Christmas and Superman also go really, really well together. Um, yeah, explain to me why Ben Affleck Batman failed. If you can explain that, I'll explain why British Superman failed. Okay, there is a lot of reasons why the Ben Affleck Batman failed. It's not because of the acting, right? It's because not only is he killing people, like, he's branding them and sending them to their death. He's gonna kill Superman. The whole world, Snyderverse, is a mess because there's no morals in there. Wonder Woman kills, Superman kills, Batman kills. Like, what's the point? We're not watching heroes no more, right? Uh, you're talking about Ben Affleck, Batman? Ben Affleck doesn't have blue eyes. Wait, what do you? Wait, first, you talked about Ben Affleck, and now you're talking about a blue-haired, blue-eyed Batman. They were working towards a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Ben Affleck Batman. Is that what you're saying, or are you talking about the British stuff? British stuff. Okay. What version did you see that he was blonde and blue-eyed? I might be confused, but I'll explain why Ben Affleck's Batman failed. Ben Affleck's Batman failed because, first, they didn't establish Batman in his own movie first. That was the big issue right off the bat. But even with the hype, okay, it failed because when we got a Batman versus Superman, there was so much going on that we didn't even get to digest Batman. Now, Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne in the scenes, he did a really good job. You really felt that he was Bruce Wayne, that he was pissed. The issues were when we were getting, like, little hints here and there that the Joker killed Robin and that he just cared about killing and revenge, and he's like, and he literally, like, he's so weak mentally that he stopped killing Superman just because he said a name. Like, yeah. Uncle Ben background story. Superman is British. Also, like Batman Beyond, when Robin kills the Joker, but like there's like DNA and like a chip in him, so that he becomes the Joker when he's an adult. Is that the story you want? From which comic are you pulling from? In which comics are you reading? Because if you like, Batman's been around for a long time. Like, there's been like, I think at top of my head, there's only been two where one of the Robins um become a Joker. You should send it to me. I want to read it. The like in terms of movies, I wanted them to do Stupid Simple at this point. Like, I don't want them, because I feel like whatever studio picks up DC and whatever storyline they choose, they're gonna f it up. So, um, yeah, like I think, yeah, one Robin is killed by the Joker. Was that Jason Todd? Or Tim Drake becomes a Joker, right? But man, I send me some of the, yeah, Tim Drake, yeah. So I'm thinking of the right comic. But the I don't I like yeah, like I agree. Todd stays good to become the Dark Knight, but I don't want them adapting that, because you know they're gonna f it up. You know they're gonna ruin it completely, because you got to establish so much more backstory to get to that. You have to actually have like a TV show, not a movie, and you have to focus some episodes on Robin, so that it can explain why he would lead throughout all the traumatic experiences that he has to become the Joker. Like, there's no, you can't just throw him, throw a movie out there and that's it. You know, because that's what happened with Batman v Superman. Like, it ruined Batman right off the bat. No, no pun intended. Well, it's not that there's a base. It's not about having a baseline. It's about the movies having a baseline. Yeah. You don't think Martha's a good enough reason, dude? It's a solid name. I think it's a good enough reason. No, Martha. That, like, at the time I watched it, I was just kind of like, okay, oh, that's the name of his mom. Oh, okay, okay, that's what he's getting at. And then, like, there's so much going on that I was just like dumbfounded, that I'm like, okay, I just can't wait till this movie's kind of over and I'm having fun. And then my brain still started working right after I left the theater, and I'm like, oh, that was a giant piece of trash, and I don't think I'll ever watch that movie again. And then I tried watching the extended cut, and it's just more garbage, just extra stuff. And I don't think they should, like, everybody's probably seen on Instagram that they're trying to bring back the Snyderverse, or Zack Snyder is, right? And that if Netflix buys it, it's dead. If Paramount buys it, they could do two universes. There's a whole thing. I think James Gunn's Superman is dead. It's DOA. And, like, that was terrible. And I think Snyder's universe, we don't need anymore. I would love to see Henry Cavill as Superman. And I would love to see Ben Affleck come as a different Bruce Wayne and Batman. I just don't want it to be the Snyderverse. I could deal with a whole reboot with the same actors, other than Ezra Miller, because that guy's insane. Um, made me so sad. Ah, well, Martha didn't treat you right, man. Really, you thought Ben Affleck? Look, I thought the problem was the direction, the storytelling. I think Ben Affleck actually was good as Bruce Wayne. I think he is very decent in that role. Um, like I said this in this stream. Ben Affleck's Batsuit, it's not. I don't even like the Batsuit that he has. It's the most comic accurate Batsuit. Black hair, brown eyes, dark. What do you mean, like black? Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad they moved past it, but I'm not glad with what we got. I actually did make a video on YouTube. It was a quick, like, 4 minute video of why people, yeah, it's like making Snow White Mexican stupid. Yeah, agreed. I hate DEI. It's ridiculous. And I'm gonna make a video of why when it works, when it's not the main character. Like Pete Ross in Smallville is a black dude, but in the comics he's a white dude. But he's not really that important in the comics. It's just they, like Smallville, the TV show kind of did their own thing, right? But the they wouldn't do that, and Joe Rogan wouldn't allow it. It would be an interesting movie. Um, but man, what was I freaking getting at with? Oh, so Ben Affleck's Batsuit is the most comic accurate Batsuit. Still needs the trunks. I need the longer ears, and I don't need the bulky bat symbol. The best Batsuit is the blue cowl with the yellow and black symbol and the gray suit. That's the best bat suit, and you can adapt it. There is a way to do it. Fans have like spoken about it endlessly. You've probably shopped at comic book stores, um, and if you've read a comic, you've been to a comic shop. Like, you spend more time talking and arguing with people than you do looking at the comics. At least in the original back in the day comic shops. Yeah, you can't just race swap and not change the whole story. Um, yeah, but he's not. If like Miles Morales, even in the toys, it says Miles Morales. It doesn't say Spider Man. Like, I didn't think that was a good way to do it. Now, I think if they were gonna introduce like a black Spider Man, it should have been something where like Batman and Robin, where in the same universe as Peter Parker, and Peter Parker gets like this. Peter Parker is somewhat successful at this point, where he has a baby on the way. He's working as a scientist with Dr. Connors, and maybe he gets overzealous trying to show off to this kid. The kid gets bitten by a spider. It's not perfect, but there's a whole way to do around it. And then he feels guilty that there's this burden on him and that he could possibly die because he got bit by this spider that gave him different powers, than what Peter Parker got. And then Peter Parker has to train him. That, I think, should be more in line instead of just being like, oh, this is a mantle. It's not a mantle. Spider-Man is Spider-Man, and Peter Parker is it. I hated the whole cloning thing of Spider-Man. I never really cared for the 2099 Spider-Man. I like Peter Parker Spider-Man, and that's it. If you want to make a new hero and a new character, feel free to go do that. Have no problem with that. But stop making it a mantle where like you could just give the symbol, give this suit to somebody else. It's stupid. Yeah, I don't know why people don't get on the race topic. Like, I'm from Brazil. We talk about it all the time because we're a huge mix, and we don't play around with that bull crap. Like, I'm not for sloppy seconds, man. Like, it's actually offensive to race swap somebody because you're saying based off your race isn't good enough to write an original character for. that will be successful. So we have to give you, put you in a role that was created from this other race, because we believe in that race. They're gonna be successful because we have to usurp the what came before, instead of making your own original character, an original thing. Uh, you don't like that Henry Cavill's British? Look, I am. I have no qualms about Henry Cavill being British. Okay, and I'll wait till you come back so I can finish my thought or say it again. But actors act. If you look like Superman, you can play the part and you care. Like Henry Cavill is bona fide nerd, loves Superman to death, and he will play that for the end of time. That's what I want. I don't want an actor being like, "Oh, I donned the cowl, but now I need to like distance myself, and I really don't want to play that role anymore." It's like it's not a role. Like it's like no actor's bigger than their role, but you got the opportunity to be Superman, and you should not milk it, but you should respect that for as long as you can. Like there's a world to be built around this. So I think, to me, I love Christopher Reeve, but I don't care if the actor is British, Australian. If you could pull the accent, you look like Superman, and you could play the part, and there's a good story with a good movie, boom, you are Superman. All right? Like Henry Cavill actually embodies a lot of Superman's like he's an embodiment of Superman in a way. You know, like he cares about people. He doesn't really like he wants things to stay true to work out, but he is not going to sacrifice his dignity and integrity for a quick cash grab. That's why he left The Witcher, you know? But in terms of like Christmas and Superman, like Christmas isn't inherently American. Christmas is Christmas, right? But like I'm not gonna say only Jewish people could play Superman because two Jewish guys created him. You know, like Superman, I think should represent truth, justice, and the American way, and that's it. That like that's something. If you remember the the campaign of how James Gunn started was good. He put on Twitter, truth, justice, and the American way, and that's what he's aiming for. But unfortunately, didn't work out that way because um because he backtracked. Like he is a liar. He's not gonna make good movies. He's not gonna care about what came before, and and the respect. He cares only about cash grab and his own way. He doesn't actually care about how this is gonna be perceived and what do the fans deserve. It's about him selling him to his friends. Like look at my Superman and how much better it is than everybody else's Superman. That's what he's trying to do. And it failed. Failed completely. Freaking retarded. But yeah. So the like honestly don't know what you mean by the whole like do you think Henry Cavill shouldn't play Superman because he's British even though you love him? I need to read some of the older comics. Not that I haven't read them, but it's been a long, long time. One thing, and I know a lot of people will get at me for this, the Batman New 52 wasn't too bad. New 52 as a whole sucks. Superman, atrocious. But the Batman part of New 52 wasn't too bad. It had a lot of cool things, a lot of good things going for it. You know, I had my issues with it. Still have my issues with it. But, yeah. I like how the animated series direction went where they are actually focused on. Well, they brought Damian Wayne in. Like I think he's a good challenge for Bruce Wayne as a mentor, and it's his own flesh and blood, so he's going to be a little more connected regardless of how well he has raised Dick Grayson and Tim Drake and Jason Todd and all the other guys, and what's her name, Barbara Gordon. But not to talk about Batman. I love Batman. I have Batman right here. Oh, can't really see it. I'd have to like mess with the camera. But yeah, most of my stuff I think is actually DC related. Got a Justice League poster, got the Superman symbol, I got the Batman symbol, got a Batman poster, and all my wife, by the way. Fantastic. When you come back, I'll show you that statue again. It's freaking sick. But yeah, the like one thing I want them to bring back. I actually don't even care about crypto, to be honest. Never really cared for like the super pups type stuff. I never cared for it. It's not like I don't want to follow a story about a super dog. Like, and even then, even that James Gunn couldn't do right. He still like implemented a CGI different breed of a dog. Like, talking about switching races, he also switched breeds, man. The guy can't control himself. Freaking Hollywood, brother. But I'm really excited for this year's Christmas. Things aren't going things are actually not going well this year. This year has been a freaking challenge. Like, I gotta tell you guys, it's been rough as hell. And I'm still, because of the family I have, the wife I have, they're amazing. So it's still giving me hope. And that's actually one of the reasons why I watch Superman again. The thing that gives me the most hope is watching Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings. But like, fills me up with like an energy of like, things are going to get better. Like, no matter what we go through, life is still worth it. You know what I mean? But if you're telling me that Superman can't do that, and I'm going to get that through Man of Steel and freaking James Gunn Superman, nah. I'll get that through Tom Welling Superman. Like, there's a lot of good episodes where like it really shines through. I'll get that through Christopher Reeve's first two movies. I tried watching Superman 3 again today. The only reason I could get through it is because of my kid. And I'm like, yeah, this movie freaking sucks. And then there's Superman 4 that sucks even more. Yeah. But I think I'm going to be on a Superman kick forever. I'm just always going to watch Superman. The animated series, I do need to kind of go through it a little deeper. I don't want to do a review on it, but I want to kind of give a comparison of the animated series Superman and Clark Kent to the comics, which comics that I would say are the definitive comics. And I need to read them all again. And it's a really time consuming. Comics are pretty easy reads, but 30 minutes a day is a lot in one day. Like, you got so much going on. Like, a friend of mine let me borrow a bunch of comics. No, you're good, man. He let me borrow a bunch of comics, and it's been months. I still haven't gone through them. Actually, when I used to have, this is something you don't know, Suteran, I used to have a Lego store, and a friend of mine, when we were at the Lego store, I was closing up, and I saw one of his comic books, and it was a whole comic. He's let me borrow it, and I sold that Lego store like a year ago. And I used to have a Lego store. I'm not Danish, I'm Brazilian, but I live in the U.S. Unfortunately, I did get screwed. They stole all my money and shut down the store, and my lawyers couldn't really do much about it. There was a conflict of interest, and so now I'm back to zero, it's fine. It's all good. God's good. I got my Superman. I got a healthy family. And I'll make a video on it on YouTube one of these days, and I'll talk about it in live streams. But he lent me a comic book, and then he lent me a second one, which is actually, it's more like a novel. It's right here. It's the Brad Meltzer's Identity Crisis. This one, from from the things I've read, I'm actually more excited to see what happens to the Flash on this comic book than anything. But so far, it's pretty decent. I have some, like, a friend of mine. Here's something that's kind of hard. Like, I'm always accept whatever gifts anybody gives me, but sometimes, like, especially with comics, your friends will buy you a comic maybe, and they bought like the worst run ever, but it has like some decent art, and they just went off a picture, and I'm like, okay, like, thank you so much. I'm gonna cherish this forever. And now I have like a small collection of really crappy comics, but it's all good. Oh, nice, man. Trust fund kid, yeah. Damn, dude, that sounds awesome. I the I am not a trust fund kid, like, all from the sweat of the brow, and I plan to be a multimillionaire just like you, brother, one day, and I'm gonna read comics forever. But unfortunately, this past year, uh, we mean around 1 mil to earn 10K a month. Unfortunately, this past year, like, got completely screwed. They wiped me out, and it's all because I trusted in the wrong people, and that is a Superman reference. Most of his mistakes is because he trusts the wrong people. In almost every comic, every TV show, especially in Smallville, he's trusting in the wrong people, and that's what he's missing out on. He's getting screwed. Or not missing out on. That's what is setting him back, especially with Lex, that friendship with Lex. Camping, brother, I know you from the chat. All right? Like, we can meet in public space. See who I am? I've been camping before. Last time I went camping, I got on a white water raft, and then I was going down this hill, and don't know what happened, but I turned over and I couldn't stop, and all these rocks got embedded on my side, and the nurse had to, like, we went to like a local campsite, and they had to take the rocks out of my sides and pour alcohol. That that's that was like the last time I really did like a full blown camping trip. It was a week long camping trip, and the only camping trips I won't do anymore is winter camping trips. I was also a Boy Scout, and we would have to make igloos. Like, I had some crazy, crazy camping trips. Uh, I don't doubt you got money, man. And yeah, I'm always willing to open something. Dude, if you're in Florida, come here, come here in Florida. I got wife and kids, man. I can't just go camping willy nilly. And at this point, I don't have the money. Virginia, sick, man. I've been through Virginia. Dude, I'm definitely not camping in the snow. That's not happening. Last time, we actually weren't allowed to bring anything. We actually had to build an igloo and then understand insulation and how it all worked. And then we made a bed of snow while clearing off the ground. But we had to make a bank so that the wind doesn't cut straight in and keep us cold. So we had to make it sideways, coming through. So like a door was here, then you go in like a hallway, and then inside was like your own like hut. But you also had to make the padding like not so thick on top, so that it was like this whole thing to not make it collapse on you and all that. Yeah, I know snow, but dude, I'm Brazilian, man. I'll freaking die just by stepping outside in the wind. It'll pierce me to my bone. I lived 2 years in Boston, and the winters there didn't have a car. Took public transportation. Almost killed me. Virginia, is Virginia right next to Boston? Is that it? Yeah. How about you take my word for it? I'm not gonna go camping in Oh, then I have been to Virginia. I thought it was Vermont. I have been to Virginia. Um, no, I went to Vermont. It wasn't Virginia. Maybe because it wasn't exactly Boston. I was in Framingham, and then I took a trip up and stayed a few days. Yeah, then I might not have been to Virginia. But brother, like, how about you? You fly out to Florida. We'll go. I'll take you to a Brazilian steakhouse. That's where you can get to know me, brother. Like, I can survive anything, but I'm not gonna put myself in the snow. Yeah, I know how big Brazil is. Yes, there is a lot of cold, but I didn't go to the south. I wasn't from Porto Alegre. I'm from São Paulo, which is like the New York of Brazil. It does get cold, and then the last place I lived was Florianopolis, which is an island that connects to the mainland of Brazil, and has 42 beaches. It has snowed there once that I know of, but I've never been there when it had snow. Yeah. And funny enough, Superman is very, very big in Brazil. When you go to, I think it's the Rio airport, there is a giant Superman statue when you walk to the food court. I think it's still there. It should be. It was there for years. But there is a massive Superman statue, like life size. Even me and my sister took a picture of when we were kids. Is soccer team that crashes in the mountains and all ate each other. Yeah, that happened. Apparently, there's not like sufficient evidence that that's what happened, but you could jump to the conclusion. Like many parts of history where it was like different religions that were persecuted, or different sects of people when they were traveling through either the through the British Empire trying to leave. Um, the there is like people didn't become cannibals, but from Brazil to Chile. Yeah, oh, okay, yeah, that's what you're talking about. Yeah, yeah, that did happen. Um, the I think they ended up like in the border of Chile, right at the top. I can't remember, but yeah, in order to survive, like pretty much, I don't know. I have to look back into it, but I don't think they became cannibals, start killing each other. It's like when somebody died, they would preserve the meat. That's how it would work. Superman was there. No plane crash. Just saying. Superman just be chilling at the Rio airport. I hope it's still there. Next time I go to Brazil, I'll try to pass by Rio and see if the Superman statue is there. Because like I remember when I got off the plane and I saw that, I was like, dude, what the freak? This is awesome. Yeah, I'm actually in the Tampa area. I'm an hour from Orlando, an hour and a half ish. Oh, like I guess with traffic, like this time of year is like 2.5 hours, because the traffic is insane. Dude, send me a DM through Insta if you want, if you like plan to come out here and you want to get together and talk, or do whatever. You let me know. The and then we could DM each other back and forth. And like my email is also up there for the Last Relic on Kick and YouTube and Instagram. So it's just the last one relic at Gmail. And we could coordinate if you ever plan to coming out. I'm all for like meeting people that I talk through on the chat on the internet. Like I'm not a you know I'm weird, but I'm not like weird. Like your ideas on how you level up your channel, feel free to. Man, here's one thing I really don't like about Kick. You get like multiple people trying to like sell you on like this is how you can grow your platform. This is how you can do this, and this. And it's like, look, man, I can't tell if you are a bot or whatever. But if you're not like messaging consistently, like I'm gonna assume it's a scam and it's a bot. Whoever this Kazuo Tanaka is, yeah. But thanks for tuning in if you're a real person. Yeah, and I think I might end the stream there. I gotta make sure I gotta wake up early and I don't get too sick. But man, I love talking about Christmas and Superman. Like, I'm still trying to find like the correct action figure for my son. He's 5 years old, and I'm trying to get him like a solid Superman toy where he can't really break it. But actually, Santa Claus is trying to find him a Superman toy, but it's big enough where he can play with it as much as possible, play with it in the dirt. But at the same time, it's still accurate enough, but it's not the James Gunn bull crap, because I can't stand that film. I can't stand the style. I don't like the new 52 collar that he put on him. I don't like that. It looks like a motorcycle suit. But yeah. But Suterin, if you subscribe, thank you. Thanks for being in the chat. Derp, anybody else? I think Derp chimed in. Sorry, Derp. If you ever watch this and you're like, man, I was never in that chat, I'm delusional right now because I'm freaking dying. But yeah, thanks for everybody who participated. It was a good convo. I enjoyed myself. I will try to live stream tomorrow. I might just play some Fallout, stream some games, or I might just do a late night talk, which I've been enjoying quite a bit lately. I have to film some videos, but yeah, and something I'm gonna put the image up. I'm still gonna talk. Something I actually talked about a lot with well, I didn't talk about it a lot, but something that some people have been asking me is to do an actual, like, how I open a Lego store with no money, how I developed the store, how I got screwed out of that store, what happened to my employees, what, like, all the, yeah, just really a video encapsulating everything I did for that franchise, because it was a franchise. It wasn't my own store, and that was the issue. And I'm not against franchises or anything like that, but you gotta be really careful. Yeah, you gotta be super careful. But regardless, I did enjoy my time having my own Lego store. Some of the videos you guys see on the shorts on the YouTube side is the Lego store. Like, I created the Master Chief helmet. Not created, I built it, right? From Bricker Builds. Most of the life-size stuff was from Bricker Builds. And I was trying my hardest to find instructions to do a what's it called? I was trying to find instructions to do a picture frame of Superman, and I found one that was Christopher Reeve, and all Lego, the Lego studs, because I did a Captain Rex, I did Batman, I did Anakin Skywalker and the Hogwarts crest, and I actually built the life-size Captain America shield out of Lego, and I wanted one that was Superman, but it was so hard to find, and like the colors were never right, like there was always issues. I don't know, man. It just wasn't freaking great. But who knows? Maybe I'll make my own one, like a mock or something. Regardless, like I had an awesome time here today on Kick, and especially on Kick. YouTube, still getting used to it. Kick has some issues, but I'm having a good time on both. And I can't talk enough about Superman. When I get better, my sentences will be more coherent. I will be, yo, Derp, okay, Derp, I won't leave just for you. Just for you, dude. I'll stay on a little longer. Here, let me I'm here. Just because you the OG. You the OG. I was talking to some people in the chat on the Kick side, because I think I'm always gonna do both sides, you know. So if okay, all right, you on Kick, man. That helps me out. That helps me out, man. I need to make money off Kick. You feel me? Superman. Yeah, man. You like that Superman shirt? But wait, Derp, I got something for you. Let me show this sucker off again. Let me focus this camera. Look at that. Now that's Superman right there. The S and everything. See that? Bam! When I saw that statue, man, if you tuned in before, I had to get it. Had to get it. Get refocused on that. Yeah. How come you're not going to the con? Oh shoot, yeah. Damn, dude. What? Like, where do you live? Like, what state are you based out of? Because we got a ton of cons where, like, over here. I looked up the. Bruh. Yeah, I looked up that Galaxy Con you were talking about. Apparently they're gonna have one here in Orlando. I live in Tampa, the Tampa area, so like 2-3 hours from Orlando. Oh, so it wouldn't have been that bad, but still, 82.70 is it's a little steep for one ticket, man. And nobody else was willing to go. Again, where are you at? We'll have to meet up and talk some Superman. Yeah, like we should do actually like a live stream together and talk Superman. And you can make your case on why you love James Gunn's Superman, because I hate it. I despise that movie. Yeah, man. Gotta make money. You gotta get famous, man. Yeah, you gotta do more on YouTube or something. You have more followers than me, man. Where the money at? No, and by the way, I checked out your channel. I'm super happy you're doing well. I'm not a huge football fan, but I tune into your your Steelers talk every now and then when you have like the three dudes that are talking, or you and the two other guys. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. So I try to support when I can. I'm gonna try to use this channel more because I used my old channel name, which was Gabriel, and then yeah, like it's been a while. Yeah, of course, dude. But are you excited for the Christmas season, man? Are you guys all excited for this Christmas season? I just told some of the people in chat, like, I will be making a video on I don't know how to, like, I would have to sit down and try to figure out. I'm not tech savvy, dude. I don't know how to bring you on and like do a raid where like we can discuss it, but like let me know and then we could do it. Like I don't care if it's on your channel or my channel. I could like pop in on your Discord and then you do it on your channel. I'm fine with that. Like but I know you missed the Squirtle. I will be getting the Squirtle back soon. I'll be doing a video soon in the next month or two about how I was able to buy a Lego store and build it up, and how I actually in the end got screwed out of my Lego store. So this year, like financially, a little tough, but it's fine. Like yeah, like I'm starting back from zero, which is cool. Like my family, my family's the best. My wife is the best. My kids are awesome. And unfortunately, like the projects I wanted to invest in were going to be from the money of the store, but the people I sold it to, which was back to the franchise owners, and sold, I say loosely, because they never gave me any money, and they actually just took all my money and shut it down, and then never paid me a dime. But yeah, okay, I'll have to look it up how to do the stream the Restream or StreamYard, because dude, I am basic. I am bare bones with this. Like Kick, that was a leap for me to just open up an account and start on Kick as well. Like a bunch of people were telling me like, dude, you could cross stream, you could do this. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna do Twitch, I'm not gonna do anything else. I'm gonna do two platforms only for at least like a few years, and then we'll see how it's gonna work out. Because I'm not tech savvy. I am not tech savvy. Like there was a stream that I did that for like 40 minutes in the stream, I was just trying to figure out how to get the audio going. And it was the stream that I had the most people tune in, and people just vanished because it sucked. And I was embarrassed, but I just felt bad that I wasted their time, that like they went into a boring stream. You know, that sucks. Like when you're trying to entertain and you're trying to have some fun, and you screw it, you poop you poop on the party, man. Well, Derpster, Derp, you have more experience on bringing people on because I've seen your streams. So how about you you send me a message through my email or my Discord, and we'll coordinate. You know, the I was on somebody else's stream the other day, but I didn't have my channel active, like live on my channel and his channel. It was just on his channel, and I was just we were just talking about religion and things like that. But oh, you're gonna do the Game Awards? Sweet, dude. I have no insight on that. I am so basic. You have no idea. I am like I have such an addictive personality that I have to limit the games I play. Like Anderson got me Fallout, right? Fallout 4. And it's almost been, I think it's been a year now, and I'm going to play for the first time this coming week to do it on stream. I don't know if I could provide any insights like on that stream because it's Thursday night. Maybe I'll tune in. I'll be in the chat, and then like I could give my 2 cents maybe on the what I think about the video game industry from like almost like a normie perspective. Okay, at 8, is it Easter time? I'm in Florida. What does that mean? 8. Is it 8 my time? 8 your time? Okay, yeah, so 8 o'clock. So Thursday, maybe I'll reserve a spot so I can listen in and jump on. And maybe like have it running on Kick and also be on the Streamlabs side or whatever. But I have to figure that out. I have to. Well, what's it called? Is it called a raid? Because that's what I heard. That's what they're called. Like when you do on everybody's on one stream together talking. Like my favorite people to listen to is the Friday Night Tights by Nerdrotic. Love watching that stream every Friday night. They talk about pretty much what we talk about here, and like maybe I go too much about Lego and Superman and Christmas, but that's what they talk about. And I'll probably get off the stream in like 15 minutes or so, just because I'm worried about my kid and my wife and everything. Okay. Here's how dumb I am, man. I don't know what cast means. You can cast your Kick with the site. Derp, like that's how stupid I am. Like Anderson, when we were doing the streams at the store, he would take over the thumbnails, all that. I learned to do thumbnails using AI and manipulating through Instagram and then screenshotting and all that stuff. And basically you send a link. So do I have to go live on Kick first? Then you send me a link and then I just click the link like through the chat? No, shoot. Clark Kent is no longer streaming. It's Superman now. And not to be boastful or anything, but I have people have said that I look like Superman. You know, back when I was bodybuilding, I didn't look too bad. You feel me? Man, I need a Superman rash guard for my jujitsu. It'll ask to log in, then ask to cast the stream I'm doing, so your channel gets it. Okay, when the time comes, it's either gonna be a good laugh of how retarded I am to try to freaking get on your stream, or we're gonna have a good banter and I'm gonna get on your stream and we're gonna have some fun. Cause, dude, I'm telling you, like, it is embarrassing me trying to learn things on the fly. Like, here's the thing, with me, other than technology, if it's work, if it's labor, I will become the best. I'll be the best at any job ever. I will freaking perfect it. When it comes to technology, I keep it basic because, again, I get obsessive and I know it's a rabbit hole. Everybody tells me that streams, it's a rabbit hole and you just can't stop, and then you want to develop this, you're going to want to get into this, you're going to want to get into coding. And that's how I am. So I have to keep it simple. Like, I don't even really edit my videos. Like, I try to write a script. I do the video over and over and over again. I'll do it, delete it, do it, delete it until, like, I feel like it's more natural, and then that's the one I'll post. And it's more time consuming, but, you know, especially when I'm sick, it's not going to work out super well. Which, let me put on my image so I can mess around here. Which, on YouTube? And do I have to stay live on YouTube? Because I'm live on YouTube and Kick, as you know. Do I have to stay live or do I just get on? And is it through YouTube or do I go through Discord or whatever? Because I use OBS. So, yeah. Again, for those of you who tune in for Christmas, have a super Christmas this year. Like I said, I've been going through the ringer this year, but I am doing well in terms of health. And it's funny to say that because I am sick. But, you know, I love Superman. I love my family. I love Christmas. And it's like we're still making it work. It's still fun. And yeah, I'll go to Insta, Derpster, and through my Last Relic Insta, right? So basically end here, and I will be back on the tube. I'll send a link to Insta. Okay, I'm going to wait until I hit the 2-hour mark here, so I'm going to be here for another 12 minutes. Actually, let me put the scene back on. I'm going to be here for a little bit more. And then if you want to, dude, if I'm holding you up, don't worry about it. Go ahead and start your stream. I'm chilling, you know. And regardless, I have to figure out if my wife needs to go to the store. But yeah, like if you need to go start your stream, go ahead, have fun. And I'll definitely try to jump in for as much as I can. And but yeah. This year, for me personally, it's been massive struggle. Like it's been, and not that it's not been for anybody else. Like I'm not special. I know that. I'm just like letting you guys know the situation. I feel like I have every reason to like give up, to like look down. But once you're a father and you have that responsibility, you don't have a choice. And once you don't have a choice, if you have your mind right, you can think positive about it. You can really understand that your attitude's what's gonna make it. Like, why would I freaking complain all the time? And it's one of the reasons why I watch Smallville. I watch Lord of the Rings is because like if this was real life, like they have it way worse than me, and it's not to compare. Like the whole story about Superman is that he needs to hold back some things, you know, his strengths and all that, but he also cares about people, and his life isn't perfect. Even with him, like he has to live with the fact that he can't save everybody, He does live with the fact that he can't be honest with everybody. He has a bigger mission. And to me as a father, I can really relate to that. And the Christmas season, like I want to give everybody everything. I'm not just saying friends and family and like I'm not just saying family. I'm saying friends. I'm saying people that I see. I want to give them a gift. I see a kid looking in the window at the mall and parents are like, "No, no, not this year, maybe next year." And I want to go in and buy that gift. Like I'm not a millionaire. You know, I just want to do that because I love giving gifts and I love helping people. It's just something that my father taught me. It's not something that's always been instilled in me, but he taught me that. When I was a kid, he taught me to I remember the first time I asked him to get some money to go to the movies with my friends. He brought me outside and he's like, "Yeah, for sure, son. Like, let's go." I'm like, "I need $20." I'm like, oh, "Okay, okay, okay." He locks the doors of the car and the house. And I look at my dad. I'm like, "Dude, what are you doing, man?" And he's like, "Just come here real quick." Knocks on the neighbor's door. Before they answer, he just tells me, ask them to cut their grass for $20. And then he just goes in the house. And then I had to cut their grass and get $20. Didn't get to go to the movies, but then every day after that, my dad made me, every time I wanted money, the first thing I had to do, I had to find like a widow in the neighborhood. I had to find somebody who was having a tough time, you know, like I had to kind of figure it out. And I had to do some service for them for free and really refuse the money. And then I can work for money after that. Which was, you know, I hated it in the beginning and I hated it for like a good amount of years, but it really taught me the value of caring about people and especially in the Christmas season, man. And like I was in Utah, so it snowed like crazy. And shoveling people's driveway, yeah. Let's talking DC and Supergirl hype. That okay? Yeah. I have some things about that. Through your main Insta, yeah, like your message will come through on the Last Relic. If anything, I'll go in the chat as me if I can't come in and talk DC. You know. But yeah, and I've talked a lot about Superman today, so I'm definitely gonna take a small break, hang out, chill, check with my wife if everything's all good, because I think she wanted to go to the store. Just give me 1 second. Yeah. If y'all didn't know, having kids, when one gets sick, the whole house gets freaking obliterated. But yeah, freaking Christmas time. It's very, very hopeful time. Very, very good time. And even if you don't celebrate Christmas, man, Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to you, brothers and sisters. Like, I love Christmas and I love Superman. And to me, they go hand in hand. Like, Superman celebrates Christmas, I celebrate Christmas. And you could have your own thoughts, your own reasons why you do or don't celebrate Christmas. That's on you. But I gotta tell you, like, when you dive in on what the Christmas magic is about, yes, it's been commercialized. Yes, like companies have, like, capitalism is a beautiful thing, but they've used it for profits. Obviously, they used it for whatever reasons they're using it for, but I think it's fine as long as you yourself can understand and create a culture in your home of what this time of year means, what Santa Claus actually means. And thanks, Derp. I'll check it out. I'll check to see if it actually went through. Check my Instagram right now. I got a follow from you. I didn't get a message though. But thanks, Derp. Send me the message. Okay, it's in message requests. Cool. I'll handle it, and if anything else, I'll text you in the chat. But like the movie that I was talking about, the 34th Street, which you'll see my little mini recommendation. It's not even a review. It's more of just a recommendation of what movies you should start off the Christmas season with, right? And Miracle on 34th Street. And there's a quote of Kris Kringle, Santa Claus, and what he says. He says, he's talking to Dory Walker, and Dory Walker says, "I don't think that there's any harm in not believing in a figure that many do acknowledge to be a fiction, which is Santa Claus." Okay, Superman is a piece of fiction. You know, your heroes are a piece of fiction. Your superheroes, right? But then he says a line that works super well in, you know, the superheroes and the just in the fantasy realm, and especially with Santa Claus. He says, "Oh, but there is," meaning there is a problem. "I'm not just a whimsical figure who wears a charming suit and affects a jolly demeanor, you know. I am a symbol. I'm a symbol of the human ability to be able to suppress the selfish and hateful tendencies that rule the major part of our lives. If you can't believe, if you can't accept anything on faith, then you're doomed for a life dominated by doubt." So that's that purity of the whimsical innocence and magic. That's what Christmas is about. It's about, you don't know if things are going to work out. You don't know if yeah, Christmas Vacation, Polar Express are great movies. You don't know if it's going to work out because things can happen. I didn't know the things that happened this year were going to happen to me. I didn't know that certain decisions from like 10 years ago will affect me today, you know. Like around 10-ish years ago, 10 or 11 years, I made a decision to go to Boston. If I never went to Boston for the 2 years I went, I would have never met my wife. I would have never had my beautiful, amazing kids. So certain things you're never going to really know. Okay? And Christmas is a beautiful, beautiful time of year. If you, like, whatever you got to say about the Mormons up in Salt Lake City, they love Christmas. You go to Temple Square, Christmas lights for blocks, like maybe a few miles. Like you're just in truly a winter wonderland. And when it snows and there's people selling hot chocolate, man, it is the best, you know. And Santa Claus and Superman provide the same kind of hope, the same kind of fantasy-like character, that there's somebody out there who will do so much good, who's willing to, you know, really do so much more than what you think they're gonna do. Like they have that purity and innocence within them to kind of preserve the magic of the world. And I think that is what we need to be reminded of in Christmas. And that we also, again, won't stop saying this, we should never only allow the holidays to be the only time we get together with our families and loved ones. It should be a reminder to not let too much time go by, because time's a killer, man. Like it will devastate you. Like my kids, they're growing up so freaking fast. It devastates me how fast they're growing. But I still love to be there with them, and I try to cherish every single moment. It doesn't always work out. I don't cherish every single moment all the time. Yeah, like there's gonna be things in our life that obviously is gonna take our focus away from what things that matters. But if we focus on when we have the ability to just sit back, think, and really care about the people around us, then man, we are freaking golden. So I don't think it's. I think we should keep that in mind. That the Christmas in itself is just a time to remember the mistakes we committed this past year, and the beautiful life that we have, and the beautiful people that are in our lives, and that Superman will be there for us. Man, I am, regardless of how what I believe in, I am still doing my best to be excited for my family, for my friends, for my wife, for my kids, because they're everything to me. And Superman for time was like all time like superhero. He was my everything for a really long time, you know? And yeah, like it's been, man, I've been truly been blessed. Just by having the ability to care about, like, being from a second world country and living in a first world country, and having the ability to care about Superman, to care about comic books, to care about Christmas, to care about holidays. Like, a lot of people don't get that. They they won't ever get that ability. And it's not, again, I'm never going to be comparing my life and, man, I have it so easy and I shouldn't compare. But it's just a reminder that, things are good and life is good. But yeah, guys, I'm going to end the stream here. It was fun. Love you guys.